Now, I have covered quite a lot of different enemies in the Evolution of series. Heck, I even talked about main characters and stuff like traps. But even though I've made over 100 Evolution of videos, there are still some things left to cover, and one that I haven't done yet is the Bandits. These weird little creatures were seen a lot in the Yoshi's Island series and other spin-off games. However, it all started in a main series game, and he was seen in an insane amount of games in general, so I think it's time that we finally cover them, because these sports-obsessed mad lads are actually quite unique. So let's dive right in. Now the Bandits are the tall, lanky relatives of the Shy Guys, which you can clearly see, they look alike after all. And as their name implies, their common trait throughout the games is to steal from the player, whether it be coins or Baby Mario. And the first time we ever saw them was in Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, a main series game that feels like a spin-off. And that's all because Nintendo wanted to do something special with Yoshi, who had a big role in the game that came before. Aside from that, the setting in the story is also a bit different, and that's because it's a prequel story. Mario is only a baby in this game. Now in this title, they are one of the most common enemies seen, and come in two different colors. The blue ones wander around until they spot you, and then give chase. Now if it catches you, it takes Baby Mario and runs away. And as we all know, without him, you will have a game over, because Bowser essentially wins. Now they can run very fast and jump on top of small ledges, making them incredibly versatile. They really get around quick. Aside from that, they are also very tough. It takes a whopping 6 eggs, 3 stomps, or a ground pound to get rid of them. And even Yoshi's tongue has no effect on them. All it does is push them back. So these are quite a big threat and hard to deal with. And the crazy thing is, they can also act as some sort of trap enemy, because they sometimes hide behind rocks, mushrooms, or cave walls, and then launch a surprise attack when you come past. Sometimes they even pretend to be one of the spooky enemies, and as soon as they get their hands on Baby Mario, they reveal themselves and run. So these guys try to actively hurt you, but can also be very sneaky about it. Aside from this type, you also have a less common pink variety, also known as the Coin Bandit. And this one is always seen carrying red coins. Now instead of attacking, these usually run away from you. But if you manage to snatch the coin or attack him, it will start to chase you like a normal bandit. So these were meant for collectibles and gaining treasure. Clearly, these guys are a bit odd and serve more than one purpose. They aren't just enemies that charge at you, because they also try to do surprise attacks and steal stuff from you. They can do almost anything. In a way, they are a jack of all trades, which actually works pretty well for them. They are seen a lot in the game after all, so it would be a bit boring if they just do the same stuff over and over and over. However, this isn't it. There are also some other variations of the bandits seen in this game, like the green gloves, grunts, sluggers, and Zeus guys. All of these are bandits, but with a little sports twist. This was a thing that Nintendo did a lot around this time. The charging chuck is actually a great example of this as well. As you can clearly see, the green glove and sluggers were inspired by baseball, the Zeus guy takes inspiration from karate, and the grunts just have a spike helmet. I guess they ran out of ideas at that point. In a way, these enemies are being treated like a Goomba. They are a basic enemy with a ton of different variations, which could be put in different roles. Think about it. In other Super Mario games, we see normal Goombas, versions with wings, certain ones that have power-ups, and more. And the bandits are also used in such a way. Although I will say that they are more interesting than the Goombas. Those are incredibly basic and weak compared to the bandits after all. Now after this, they obviously return in later games. They are the most common enemy in the Yoshi Island games after all. However, after this, things didn't really change in the series, to be honest. We still saw them, but nothing new was added. It was just the same old bandit over and over and over again. There were no new types, and they weren't used for a boss fight or something. Personally, I found this quite disappointing. They are a staple of the series and didn't even give them any love or attention down the road. In general, I find this a bit lazy. They could have at least added some new types or maybe even a boss. We've already seen many interesting bosses in the Yoshi's Island games that, originally, were just normal enemies. However, after Kamek makes them more powerful, they become a more interesting challenge. But sadly enough, we never got any of that. However, we did get something else in a completely different franchise. Because in the Paper Mario games, they are seen as well. For example, in the first game, pink bandits are common enemies in dry deserts. Here they sometimes fight along pokies or others of their kind and mostly come in packs. They can dash incredibly quickly towards Mario and try to steal his coins, and hurt him in the process. So again, similar to what we saw in the first Yoshi's Island game. However, again, they didn't really expand on them. None of this was truly new, to be honest. However, in the next Paper Mario game called The Thousand Year Door, things changed. They got a bigger role. In this game, they are seen a lot in Rogue Port, being up to no good in general, as you would expect. The first time you go into town in search of Professor Frankly, a bandit even zooms by you, stealing half of your coins and leaving you dizzy. And while this sucks, you can actually do something fun after this in order to get it back. You're able to track down the bandit. He's in a house near the market, and by confronting him you can get your precious coins back. And surprisingly enough, there are many other bandits living in Rogueport, namely Larson, Swindle, and Eddie the Mask. Now in this world, aside from being an enemy, character, and a nuisance, they also play a different role in what I would call world building, which is very important for a game like Paper Mario. This whole franchise has a big focus on story, so making the world feel real and immersive is important. And by adding enemies like this who are known for stealing and then putting them in a city like this where they actually steal from strangers fits incredibly well. It makes the world more believable. Something like this seems natural in the world of the Mushroom Kingdom, and personally I quite like it. Aside from that, they are also seen every now and then in the world and play a big role in the Glitz Pit. Here, a team of bandits known as the Handed-Overs, consisting of 2 bandits and 2 big bandits, are fighters in the arena. So aside from making Rogueport feel more lively and not so safe, they also play a combat role in this turn-based game. So, would this be the end of them then? Aside from some smaller stuff in games like Mario Party, of course. Well, actually, no. There was another turn-based game where they played a big role. Mario and Luigi Dream Team. They are regular enemies on the path of Dozing Mattress in the Dozing Sands, and actually have a different strategy in this game. In the field, bandits throw bandage smoke bombs at Mario and Luigi upon spotting them, and then chase them briefly. So all of a sudden they had a new trick in order to surprise you a bit, and therefore catch you more easily. And even in battle, we noticed some differences between this version and the ones seen in other games like Yoshi's Island. A bandit may throw 2 smoke bombs in a fight, one that is closer to the enemy side of the battlefield, and one that is closer to Mario and Luigi. At that point, the bandit and all the other ones, if there's more than one at least, will then, one by one, sneak through the smoke and come out the second smoke cloud to charge at one of the brothers. If the bandit is looking at the background when it's momentarily visible while moving between the smoke clouds, it will attack Mario. And if it was looking at the foreground, it will attack Luigi. Aside from that, if a bandit hits either Mario or Luigi with his attack, they will steal a maximum of 100 coins and could give the bros the trip status effect. At the end of the attack, the bandits will line up in the middle of the screen and show whether they got coins or not. Then they will all jump into the air to shuffle themselves amongst each other before falling back into position, forcing you, the player, to guess which bandit has your coins. And a bandit will flee on the next turn if carrying 100 coins, unless you defeat it to reclaim the coins. And aside from this, they can also do a ton of different stuff on their own, like sending out a cardboard bandit on a string with a bomb tied to it to trick you. As you can clearly notice, they changed a lot in the game. But personally, I would say that all these changes are a good thing. In a way, they have become more sophisticated bandits, with special tricks and tools to rob and deceive people. In the older games, they were quite crude, and did have some tactics, but they were quite, simplistic. Hiding behind stuff isn't that hard, or even clever. It's better than nothing, but still. However, now they can actually trick you more often than they could do in the first Yoshi's Island game. So this is a huge improvement for them. They became a more complex enemy with some cool tactics, which no other enemies ever use. However, this is sadly enough the last time we ever saw them in a game where they had a big and sort of interesting role. Sure, some small spin-off stuff like Mario Party games and smaller roles in other turn-based Mario games, but nothing special to be honest. So this is the end of the Bandits journey. However, don't forget, be sure to subscribe, click the bell button, and smash the like button.